Hello and welcome to Focus On. I'm your host, Justin Williams. Today we'll be focusing on the Foster Grandparents Program in St. Clair County. My guests include Lauren Nessel, who is the director of the program, Donna Emerson, who is a foster grandparent, and Karen Wood, who is the field supervisor. Laura, can you tell me exactly what the Foster Grandparent Program does?
The Foster Grandparent Program began 36 years ago nationally as a program to match seniors over the age of 60 with children who were in orphanages. And as our social structures evolved, so did our program evolve. And now our volunteers work in the public schools, the Head Start programs, the hospitals, health and mental health programs, wherever there is an established need for children who can benefit from the mentoring of an older adult.
Okay. Now, Donna, can you tell me how you became a volunteer?
Well, I heard about the volunteer program and I signed up, and I love it. It's one of the best programs they have around here for children.
You really enjoyed
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Very good. Karen, can you explain to me what you do as the field supervisor for the program?
Well, as a field supervisor, I go to the individual sites where the volunteer is placed or where they're working with the children. That includes all the way to elementary schools, to residential homes where children with special needs may be placed temporarily, as well as the health department. And I go and assess how the volunteers are doing, if things are working out for them, if their supervisors are happy with the job that they're doing, if all the volunteers and the supervisors' expectations are being met, and the children's needs are being met by those volunteers placed there.
Okay, now Laura, what kind of special needs do the children have with the foster grandparents?
There's quite a wide range. It may be anything from they're behind in their homework due to health reasons. Maybe they missed a lot of school because of the family moving around a lot. Many of the children are in homeless situations. There may also be problems with abuse. There may be learning disabilities, developmental disabilities, children who are in and out of foster care, have behavioral problems, so there's quite a variety of special needs. And then also those that maybe just need help with reading and other academics.
Okay. Donna, can you tell me how long you have been volunteering for the program?
I've been on the program 15 years.
And what's kept you doing it for so long?
Children and work and with them, you learn more every day from a child.
How many children have you worked with within those 15 years?
Oh my gosh, I couldn't. Well, let's see. I'd say 15 years. 100 and 120 or more. I've never kept track of how many, because they just stay a short time and leave and come.
It would be hundreds.
Now, do the foster grandparents get to decide what children that they work with, or is the children just assigned to a foster grandparent?
The children are assigned to a foster grandparent, and it would be, in a classroom setting, it would be the teacher. At another type of setting, it might be the supervisor there or the social worker who would determine what children would benefit the most from the one-on-one time and attention. If for some reason the foster grandparent isn't comfortable working with a child, I don't know that that's ever happened, then they could request, another child maybe.
Okay. Karen, since you are in charge of how many people get in, can you tell me how many volunteers that you have?
Approximately 72 volunteers at this time are out there and working in the different sites that we have available. We currently have about 30 sites where we place the volunteers to work with the children. It's always an evolving type process of the sites opening up. Sometimes it's through word of mouth from the volunteers themselves, or they live next door to a foster grandparent, or they're at a church function and they hear about the foster grandparent program. So we get the word out different ways to the different sites that we have right now.
And can you give me some examples of the different sites that you do have?
Well, we have elementary schools, like I mentioned before, all the way from Lakeport to the Algonac area, and then west in St. Clair County to Yale and KPAC. Mainly elementary age children are the sites that we have. We also have foster grandparent volunteers placed at the WIC at Health Department. We have a foster grandparent at Jones Place. We have a foster grandparent at the Home for Children with Developmental Delays as well. 2 foster grandparents work at a counseling center here in Port Huron. 1 at the hospital as well. So we have a variety of different settings and different needs out there.
Now, do you have more female foster grandparents than males, or are they equally divided up?
Yes, we do. Typically it is, a nurturing type related work tends to draw more women, but we do encourage, we are looking for foster grandpas. They, of course, can bring their own unique experiences to a site as well, so we encourage men to join up as well. I think they'll find it just as rewarding as women to do this type of work, and they're needed, but we generally we have more women involved with this program.
Okay, well, thank you then. And we'll be right back on Focus On to talk more with Laura, Donna, and Karen after this.
Every time an adult gives up on our kids, every time we surrender to the belief that their future is out of our hands, another child is left behind. I'm General Colin Powell, and I don't believe in giving up. That's why I'm asking you to join America's Promise. Log on to americaspromise.org or give us a call. Whoever you are, wherever you are, you can do something important. Pull your weight.
There's a stork here. It's my turn. Get out of here.
And hello and welcome back to Focus On. Today we are talking about the Foster Grandparents Program of St. Clair County. And we have found out now that there are over 72 volunteers throughout the program countywide. And now we're going to find out now what they have to go through to become an actual foster grandparent.
Well, first of all, our program is sponsored federally by the Corporation for National Service, and they are the body that sets our guidelines. We are also sponsored on a statewide basis by the Office of Services to the Aging, and then locally by the St. Clair County Council on Aging. So we have certain guidelines we have to follow from all 3. And one of the requirements is that the volunteer must be over the age of 60. We have a benefit that's called a tax-exempt stipend, and they must meet a certain income requirement in order to receive that, because the program is set to benefit lower-income seniors. We have some of our volunteers who are trying to survive on $500, $600, $700 a month. They're paying rent, they're trying to buy prescriptions that cost $300 a month, and then still be able to eat after that. So the program was set to benefit those seniors. The stipend isn't a wage. It's an incentive that enables them to be able to volunteer, to be able to eat, to be able to dress when they're out in public, maybe once in a while get their hair done or whatever they need that money for. So it is it's $2.55 an hour. They work 20 hours a week. It comes to just over $200 a month that it adds to their income and helps them to be able to volunteer. And as I said, there is an income guideline. They have to be in a certain amount of money that they have coming in annually to receive that. They also must be of good character. We do background checks, criminal record checks. We check references. We also spend quite a time with them while we're going through orientation training with them, and so we kind of get to know them. And then they are closely monitored at their sites. They're never left alone with children. There's always a staff person there. So other than coming in and speaking with us and applying, and then we do all the checks, they have to have a physical, a note from a doctor saying that they can do this work for 20 hours a week, and we also assist with that. GED is not required because we feel that their life experiences are what is the most valuable. Their ability to be able to communicate with children, to be able to offer their love and their wisdom. Although we do have some that do have college educations. So.
What kind of feedback have you gotten from the program, from schools and different sites that have been, this care has been given to?
Incredible. It's very positive program. The foster grandparents are loved. We have sites, we have classrooms that are on waiting lists for foster grandparents, and we are getting calls all the time from new sites that would like to have foster grandparents involved. And like in a classroom setting, the teachers are very busy and they don't have the time to sit down one-on-one with the child where a foster grandparent can do that.
Okay. Donna, can you explain some of the activities that you have done with the children within these past 15 years that you've been working?
Well, I've had trips with the children to the zoo, we go to carnivals, we go to baseball games, and any activity that is out there, we go to. And matter of fact, right now, we're planning on going on a trip, but we have to have more money. As usual, here we go back. Our program needs money. And maybe I should not bring that in this program, but when you're working with children, you want to do the best for them. And we'd like to do it for them.
We talk about getting money. Is there any number or something?
We work with a residential home, and money is short for the programs. Now, foster grandparents do what they can do, but otherwise, right now, we can't do for the children like we should be able to, and they need it.
She's talking about at her volunteer
Okay,
station, that they're trying to raise more money for that at her volunteer station.
And you're volunteered at a residential home?
Yes, I am.
Can you tell me if there's a place where if anybody would like to donate, where they can donate to, or a number they can call, or an address they can go to donate to your program?
To the foster grandparent program?
Yes.
Yes, we are sponsored, as I said, locally by the St. Clair County Council on Aging, and we're located in the wonderful new Senior Center building, and they can contact the Senior Center to make donations to the program, or they can call us directly at 987-8813.
Okay. Karen, could you tell me now how volunteers are placed at their sites?
Well, as as Laura had mentioned, excuse me, at the orientation, which is required, they go through 20 hours of orientation. We do site visits to give them an idea of what is out there for their volunteer sites. We get to know the seniors personally, and we do an interview process as well while they're applying. I also ask that they do an autobiography of themselves so they can show me where their interests lie, what are their strengths, and what are their weaknesses, because we don't want to place somebody in a place that's going to push some personal issues, push any of those buttons that would perhaps trigger some things that would be unpleasant for the senior themselves. So it's really important to get to know that senior on a one-to-one level so I can make a really good judgment, and Laura and I discuss this, of where that senior can go. Some of the schools where we place the seniors have a real thorough process as well. They observe the senior for about 2 weeks as they shadow some of the other foster grandparent volunteers, so they can get to know that foster grandparent, and then they know what the teachers' different needs are in the different classrooms, and we match them up. We want a good match, because it can be difficult for the teacher, the children, and the foster grandparent if they decide that isn't a good placement for them, and that's okay, but we'd like to see it a successful placement. So just by getting to know them through the orientation process and asking them, what are your expectations? Asking the teacher, what are your expectations of a foster grandparent, so that we can meet everybody's needs.
Okay, Donna mentioned that she was a volunteer at a residential home.
Yeah.
Now, how would someone go about getting a foster grandparent to volunteer at a residential home? How does that come about?
Well, they could call our program at 987-8813 and ask for Laura or myself, and let us know that they're interested in the foster grandparent program. That way, Laura could set up a meeting with them to get the necessary paperwork going so that they could have a volunteer at their site or their home or, you know, at their school as well.
When we say a residential home, we don't mean a private home. It's not in with the family.
Okay, I see.
It's like a group home, you know, where the children are living there temporarily.
I see.
It's that type. We do not place any of our volunteers in individual family-type homes. The only way that that might happen is if they were volunteering with a program, such as EOC has a program where their staff goes into the homes and works with children that are not ready for Head Start or preschool yet. A volunteer could go with that staff person into that person's home. We're not currently doing that, but we would never send a volunteer into a person's home on their own. So all the programs that we're involved in are nonprofit sites, and they all have staff there who are there when the foster grandparents are there.
Okay.
And we do have contracts that are called memorandums of understanding with all of our sites, which just is a statement listing what they provide and what we provide.
Thank you. What kind of rules and guidelines must the foster grandparents follow when they're at their volunteer?
Well, of course, we absolutely do not tolerate any alcohol or drug use or anything like that. They are always to be role models for the children, the way that they talk, the way that they address issues. We can have them involved in faith-based programs, but they are not allowed to teach religion. We request that they're neat and clean appearing, that they remember that they are role models. There are many other guidelines which we go over during our orientation training.
Okay, then we'll be right back to finish up here with Laura, Donna, and Karen right after this.
They won't leave you for someone younger. They won't notice you've gained weight. They won't fire you. They won't talk about you behind your back. All they'll ever do is love you. Find the love of your life. Visit PetFinder at aspca.org.
This is the story about a group of kids who volunteered.
Doing something nice for someone. We fixed stuff. Did some art projects with the kids. We fixed up his house. We worked in the woods. Cleaned up the park.
Did something for the planet.
We just did it.
No other reason. And you know what? It was great.
At first, they didn't know each other.
Well, that didn't last long.
This guy is really funny. Me?
Ace are my new
friends. Are you into it?
Call 4-H or check out our website at areyouintoit.com.
Hello and welcome back to Focus On. Today we are focused on the Foster Grandparents Program here in St. Clair County. My guests are with me is Laura Nessel, Donna Edmondson, and Karen Wood. Okay. So can you tell me more about now what benefits the program gets?
The benefit that I hear is first and foremost from our volunteers is that it gives them a reason to get out of bed in the morning. And when you've worked and been removed from the workforce or you've raised your family, it's really easy to get stuck in a rut of sitting there on the couch watching TV. And this is what most of our volunteers love, is it gives them a reason to go out, do something that they know is useful, is needed. They feel more valued, and there's no price tag you can put on that and what it does for their self-esteem. But we have other benefits which include the tax-exempt stipend that I talked about. We also provide transportation assistance, which is either providing the transportation if we're able, back and forth from their volunteer site, or we reimburse them mileage. We help them with an annual physical. We have, which is a brand new thing, a Script Save card that can save them on their prescriptions money when they go to certain pharmacies. We also, they receive a meal every day, which is what the volunteer station contributes, providing them with a meal while they're volunteering. We also have paid training and paid time off if they meet the income requirements to receive the stipend. We have social and recognition events, and they have opportunities where they're able to increase their social structures, to make new friends. The teachers and the supervisors at their volunteer stations generally become very attached and help look out for them too. So it's just a wonderful program, and it's just full of all kinds of benefits.
Donna, can you explain to me how you have benefited from this program?
Well, I agree with everything that Laura says. It helps us get up in the morning and do something. And like she said, we're helping the children. And as I was telling Laura earlier today, I go into work, Grandma, you're here. And sometimes you don't even have your purse put down on the floor. They're right there for you. And it's just seeing the joy on some of their faces at times would just give them a little encouragement that they need. And I love working with them.
So what does it make you feel knowing that you're just changing these kids' life?
You hope that someday they're going to come back and remember you and say, Grandma, you told me this, or you said that. And that they have to get something out of this, working with us and all. We have children that's very emotional, and knowing that they're going out in the world, you want to see them do great. And they do. I've had children come back, and they graduated from college. They did. But you don't know, the program I'm in is very serious, children.
So it gives you a very good...
It gives me a feeling knowing that you can see a smile on their face.
Have you met new friends throughout this program?
Oh, yes. Workers I work with, I have made very good friends with them.
And how have they reacted with you?
They treat me like Grandma. I'm a grandma to them, even to the staff, Grandma. And I've been there 15 years, and they all have treated me just like a grandma.
That's great. Karen, can you tell me what recognition that these FASTER volunteers get?
Well, recognition dinner is our annual time when we recognize the amount of years that the volunteers have given in the community, all the years of service that they are given, and there are many of the people from the community, from the elementary principals or ministers from area churches who are involved with the community programs. The families are invited to attend of the volunteers, as well as their supervisors and teachers from the site, and they're recognized for the work that they do, because these are seniors that you know, may not have a lot themselves. For the most part, a lot of them, like Laura said, are living on limited income, and they come from a generation where they believe in hard work and have a strong work ethic, and they still believe in giving back to their community. So it's really, it's a humbling experience for me. Maybe some of us in younger generations expect more out of this world, and perhaps we know people in our generation or your group of friends who don't give as much as what I see seniors do. So it's really inspiring to see the amount of dedication. We have one senior who's been working for 25 years at a site, and that's more than probably most of the staff she's worked with. You see more turnover in staff than you will with the foster grandparents. They oftentimes have been at the placement longer than their so-called supervisors, and know the program inside and out, and know children in the community for the almost 20, 30 years. So they are recognized with awards at the dinner and the dinner as well. The last one was held at the Harrington Inn. We also acknowledge their service throughout the year, just with all the way from a hug and a thank you to cards if they're not doing well, getting them together at social events that we have at our picnics, or once a month we have a monthly in-service, and they're recognized and for the work they do, which is important.
It is starting to sound like you almost have like a family you guys join together.
It is.
Grandparents. Are they all together, like family, all the grandparents together? Do they all know each other?
We try to give them that opportunity to. As you said, we have an in-service once a month, which continues their training with us. But we have time, we have a lunch, and we have free time in there where they can socialize and try to get to know each other. And sometimes we do different things so that they are interacting and becoming familiar with each other. But with us being spread across the county, of course, there are some that live in certain areas that aren't going to always get to know, those that might live in another area. But
Are there more foster grandparent programs throughout the country or the state?
yes, as I said, it is a nationally based program, and I couldn't tell you how many there is across the nation, but the state of Michigan has been very supportive with the program, so we are a state that is very strong in the foster grandparent program.
And are you always looking for new volunteers?
Yes.
Yes, all the time.
Yep.
We're recruiting. We recruit by flyers. We offer our time to give little mini in-services at any type of senior residential centers. Will give out information there, or have talk to the seniors. If anybody wants to call us at a senior complex or apartment center, we're more than willing to go to them and let them know about our program and what's available to them in St. Clair County.
Our request for foster grandparents always exceeds the amount of volunteers that we have available. And the only reason that we have a turnover is because you have to be 60 to begin the program, And so the turnover may be because we're off on medical leave, or they decide it's time to retire from doing this. As Karen said, we have one who's been doing it for 25 years, getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning. I mean, not everyone wants to continue doing that forever. Our oldest volunteer is 92 years old.
How is this program made aware to the public for recruiting volunteers?
Well, we have sent flyers to churches as well. We're willing to go to churches and speak to their groups if they're interested as well. We're always out in the community putting posters or flyers up at restaurants, laundromats, grocery stores, anywhere where people are at, we put our flyers up. The word is always out that we're looking for recruits, and you're welcome to give us a call.
And I think one of the most effective ways that we do recruit is through the foster grandparents themselves. That they tell
agree
others,
there.
yes, that they tell others about the program. One time we had 2 people come in who lived in the same residence as another person, and they saw the change in her personality from being kind of withdrawn and depressed to suddenly she was involved and she was happy, and they asked her what the difference was, and she told them what she was doing, how she was volunteering with our program, and so they came into our office and said, we want what she has. So that is the most effective way.
We're starting to run out of time. Just going to finish off with Donna. What has this program done for you?
It gave me self-esteem, made me feel like I am. When you get older, you think nobody needs you or wants you. And this makes me know that I'm needed. I've had children, I've worked with children, and they make me feel needed. It's a good program for anybody. And I recommend it I'm a talker and I foster grandparents to everybody I talk to about it, because there's help, they need help out there, and they need us grandmas. Maybe kids and people don't think it, but we still are pretty good people, grandmas are. And a lot of love for our children. I have learned a lot. I thought I knew a lot. I don't know nothing till I talk to some of the children we have. They've made me open my eyes on a lot of things. They help me.
Can I just add real quick when she's talking about what they're learning? Now that we're in the new senior center, one of the other benefits is all the services and the programs that are available to seniors through that center, we are also able to offer to our volunteers. And one of the new things we've added recently in our orientation training is free computer training, because the kids in the Head Start classroom know how to turn on the computers. And our foster grandparents came to us and said, we're embarrassed, this 3-year-old knows how to turn this on and I don't. So now, as part of our training, all our new volunteers learn the very basics on how to use the computer. So it's really been wonderful.
I would like to thank you all then for coming and taking time out to do this. If you have any more questions or concerns with the foster grandparents program, call 987-8813 and someone there will be glad to help you. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
systems, and it's really